You are listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith, and this is a conversation with German megastar, the Queen of Heavy Metal, Doro. The reason for the conversation is to promote her brand new album for 2018 called Forever Warriors, Forever United. Let's hear what Doro has to say. Here we go.
Very good. I'm still in Germany and getting ready for the gig in Siberia, so we're rehearsing later, and it's our first time there, so yeah.
I bet. Hey, how long have we got to chat to each other for?
Oh, I have about 20 minutes, and is this okay? 20, 25?
Wonderful, perfect, because I've got plenty of questions to ask you. Look, one thing, I'm going to open with this, okay? You have carried yourself with so much charm, charisma, and you have such a regal air about you that even a passive observer couldn't help but admire. So thank you for being such a wonderful ambassador for heavy metal and for an outstanding career over such a long period of time.
Oh, and that brings tears to my eyes. Thank you so much for saying so nice things. It's easy because I love the metal fans, and that's, and that was my only inspiration, motivation in my life. I'm so happy when I can make people happy or make them feel something, and it was always like it was so great to even do it for such a long time, and I love music and I love people, and especially the metalheads. They are like, I think they have the heart in the right place. So that's they're awesome. I think they're the best people in the world, I must say, because they feel something and they have passion for something, and especially with the music, with the bands, like they are loyal. All these great traits, which it's maybe old school, but I like it. I love it. It's
Wonderful. Yeah.
There's so much something deep about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, you are the queen, according to so many metalheads, and I certainly agree with that. So, how does the crown feel? Is it one of those responsibilities that rests heavy, or are you quite comfortable being the queen of heavy metal?
I know that's a funny question, because I'm just, I'm a workaholic, so I don't even think of anything else. It's always the tour or the songs or the festival or the songwriting. It always needs to be perfect. And I'm a metal fan as well. I'm still a metalhead, so if somebody has something nice to say about me, that's great, but it doesn't always have to be metal queen and stuff. If somebody just says, I love your song, or I love your show, that's good. Anything positive is great, but I always try to do the best I can, and if that is what people like, that's cool. And I know there's different tastes, so not everybody maybe likes this stuff, but I do it for people who love it. So, and whatever, when somebody says something positive, I'm such a happy baby.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, look, more plaudits for you then. Forever Warriors, Forever United. I've had it for about 24 hours or so. It's a superb offering, and I love the fact that you have brought so many icons from heavy metal in to share the experience with you. So, just a couple of names I'm going to read off. Chuck Billy, Jeff Waters. I'm so glad you introduced Jeff Waters to a broader audience, because I've loved his work in Annihilator for a long time. Of course, there's one of your compatriots in Millie Petroza, the wonderful Millie Petroza. I've had a couple of conversations with him, and he's a pure gentleman. But there's a couple of names that stood out for me. And the first one was Warrell Dane. So it's a bit sad, to be honest with you, because he's no longer with us. But can you tell us about your friendship and the work that you've done with Warrell?
Oh, yes, I'd love to. Yeah, actually, it was last year in Wacken that we seen each other last, which he looked really good. We were talking, and he was actually a great friend of mine, because we did a long America tour in 1988 together with Megadeth, Sanctuary, and Warlock, and there we became really great friends. And he always, they came up on stage when we had an anniversary. He came to my 25th anniversary, and we were like, having a really cool friendship. We didn't see each other too often because everybody is busy. But yeah, when we saw each other, it was always like, like big hugs and, all smiles and, and talking what's going on right now. And yeah, and he said that he was doing really good because last time in Wacken I was doing a guest appearance with Amon Amarth, and I was singing the song. We did a duet on their album, Joms Viking, and I was invited to do the song in Wacken. And because I didn't have my own show, I didn't have any pressure, and I could walk around, and that's why I saw Jeff Waters and Boyle Dane, and then I talked to everybody, and I said, hey, Johan, would you like to sing on this song as well, all for metal, because we didn't have this duet yet, and we didn't even know that we would do sooner or later another duet. Yeah, and then I could talk to everybody, and Jeff is a great friend as well. He came to our 30th anniversary last year in New York, and it was great. So Warren and Jeff and Chuck Billy, he was the last great friend on this video and on the recording. And and Mille I know for such a long time. We kind of grew up together in the metal world. He's from Essen, I'm from Düsseldorf. It's very close, and we always liked each other, always respected each other. Yeah, and then all the other great people like Sabaton or Tommy Boyle, my old guitar player of the Triumph and Agony album. He's on, and he plays all the licks, and with him I had a cool friendship going for the longest time. And then I called him up 2 years ago, and I said, hey Tommy, the Triumph and Agony album will be 30 years old, and we have to do something, celebrate, maybe do a cool gig. He said, I was waiting for that phone call. He said, I'm so happy that you called, let's do it. So we did a couple of festivals, Sweden Rock Festival and Norway Rock. And Norway Rock, I had to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning to catch a plane, and it was about 5 o'clock in the morning. And then we were talking, and then we said, hey, let's jam a little bit in the hotel room. And then we started jamming, and then this idea for the song, If I Can't Have You, No One Will, came out. And I said, Tommy, I think this could be another cool duet with Johan Heck of Amon Amarth, and I sent it to Johan, and I said, Johan, check this idea out, and maybe you like it. And then I said, if you want to write the lyrics for the verses, that would be cool. Yeah, and then Johan said, I love it, let's do it. So I was like on this record, many people I love, many diehard friends, and it's awesome, especially for metal, when everybody joins in, just having a good time. And I thought, and that's actually when they were singing, and I always had my little portable recorder and video camera with me, or actually my tour manager, and then we were filming and recording, and I tell you, then we thought, man, that's such a nice anthem, that should be like a single or a video, and it was just because you could see people were so, so like on fire singing it and happy, and I thought, this reminds me a little bit on All We Are. And then we said, hey, let's do this first single and first video, and with everybody, to give everybody thanks and, honor everybody, who's in there. They're like all part of, our life, and,
Wonderful. Now, there's another name. He's possibly one of my favourite guitarists of all time, along with Vito Bratta from White Line. Doug Aldrich, that wonderful guitarist for Whitesnake. The bloke who came up with the riff in Still of the Night, which I think is one of the greatest rock riffs of all time. But tell us about working with Doug. What was that like?
Oh, it was super. We knew each other for quite a while. Played on some festivals together, and on our last tour we played in Las Vegas. And there's a club. There are always like famous musicians playing. Yeah, and Doug was there, and I said, "Oh man, that's so cool!" And I asked him if he wants to come up on stage, and then we said, "Yeah, which song?" And I said, "Well, we always like to play Breaking the Law for the encore, because it was my very first tour in '86." And then he came up on stage, and wow, and there I felt and saw him and heard him play, and it was so unbelievable, And I said, Doug, when we are doing a new album, is it possible that you play a solo on it? He said, yes, absolutely. He said, just send me a song, what you think would be cool. Yeah, and then we had Heartbroken, and then I sent it to him, and he said, oh, I love the song. I can totally identify with it too. And then he played on it, and it was great. And the engineer said, okay, it's so long, the song now in the end, the solo is so long, we have to fade it out or cut it. I said, no cutting, no fading out till the very last second we have to do, and then, so it's like, yeah, it was an honor and great, and he has such a great tone. And,
yeah, it does, doesn't it? Unbelievable tone, yeah.
Man, oh my God.
Now, there's another track on there, and I was reading that it was a song that you dedicated to Lemmy, of course. So that's Living Life to the Fullest. Now, I know there's a bit of copy out there already about it, but what can you tell me about the track?
Yes, that was actually, that was one of the saddest days in my life. I was a great friend. We had a great friendship going, and I met Lemmy in the early 80s, and then we were many times on tour, played in the studio together, did like 3 songs together in the studio, and he was my best friend, along with Ronnie James Dio. And sometimes, sometimes when I heard that he was sick and stuff, or sometimes I visited him on a tour, and then he said, I'm sick, but, we will just postpone the gig. Everything always was okay. And then, and the last time I've seen him was in November. He was on tour, and then I thought, oh man, he looked so thin.
Yeah.
And it was really, I was so worried. And then his birthday on December, we want to celebrate in LA, and a friend of mine called me. Ute is her name. She was always taking care of Lemmy when he was in Europe. And Ute said, hey, Doro, you got to come to his birthday, in December. And my mom, she was in the hospital, and she was doing not good at all. And I said, Ute, I can't come. So I didn't go to his birthday, and I dropped him a text message. And usually we were doing text messaging a lot, and then he always wrote back, and then I wrote, and that was the first time that he didn't write back. And I thought, ooh, and not that I wanted to have a text back, but somehow I felt there was a strange feeling, and I was hoping that he was doing okay. And then a couple of days later, I heard that he was gone, and I was so shocked. And then I told my mom, who was still in the hospital, and she said, Doro, go. And then I went to the funeral, flew to LA, and then on the plane I had this idea, living life to the fullest, and thinking about Lemmy, and I recorded it on my little cell phone, and I thought, I want to record it in the studio right away. And 1 week later I went to Hamburg, and I recorded it with Andreas Brun. He's a great partner, songwriting partner, engineer, guitar player for many, many years, for 22 years. And I said, Andreas, I gotta do it right away. I gotta record it right away. He said, yeah, let's do it. And Andreas did our last duet. It still hurts, of the Race of Fist record together. And he was a big Lemmy and Motorhead fan, so he knew. And then we recorded that song. And then suddenly everything else came out. And then I thought, I wanna record the Motorhead song, Lost in the Ozone. And we recorded that. And then suddenly the songwriting was flowing, and and I felt, man, it's now or never. You never know if the world is still standing, in a year. So I wanted to do it, and this was the initial, this initial song with Lemmy. We had some songs floating around here and there, but nothing. I wasn't serious about making another record. It was just like, for fun. But then I thought, man, because we never thought that Lemmy would ever go, and I always thought, okay, so that was that's my, I love all the songs, but that's the most meaningful song to me, and Lost in the Ozone, God, the lyrics, I think Lemmy was such a wonderful lyricist, which he's always known for other things, for his attitude and playing and singing, but I think lyrics were like, he was phenomenal, and so so deep. So,
great. Yeah. Hey, let me take you back where are we now? So it's 2018, so let's go back 28 years ago. on your self-titled album, so I think it was your second or third Doro release, so in 1990, you worked with Tommy Thayer, so he's the current Kiss guitarist, and also Gene Simmons. Now, I don't think a lot of people know that, but what was it like working with Gene?
Oh, super, super. He had such a great way showing you something. And I think he was a teacher before he was a musician, and he had a great way in showing you things. And just giving you a little example, I did some songs, some ideas, and there was one blues, like a bluesy kind of song, and I showed it to Gene, and he said, "Oh, that's interesting." And he said, "Do you know about the blues?" And I said, "Yeah, not really, a little bit, just what what you hear on the radio and stuff." He said, no, when you sing the blues, you gotta learn about it. So the next day, he brought a big stack of 50 records into the studio, and he said, "Okay, Doro, now you listen to every single one of them, and then we even went to a concert, Dr. John in New York, and he bought tickets. He said, "Oh, let's go, he's a great blues guy," and I saw Etta James in concert, and he was really like going out of his way to show me something and to teach me something. Yeah, and then he said, "Okay, if you listen to all the CDs and all the vinyl," it was vinyl in 1990 still, and then we can talk about you singing a blues eventually. And I thought, wow. But he was very caring, very gentle, super smart, very lovable. I loved him so much. At first, I was a big Kiss fan growing up. Kiss was the ultimate band, and then meeting Gene, he was such a great person. I loved him. And Tommy Thayer, he was doing the co-production, and we did it in the studio where Kiss recorded "Hut in the Shade" with the engineer at Reagan. So it was all like the people who were doing stuff on the Kiss albums. And I tell you, me as a fan, I was like, oh man, I was so blown away. Every day I walked into the studio, my knees were shaking because it was like, wow, it's Gene Simmons again. It's like it was very, very, it was nice. But sometimes, it's too much. If you see somebody every day, I could never get over my fan,
I understand.
A big fan. It was like, and then sometimes he said, "Okay, Doro, look right into my eyes when you sing, and then I said, "No, Gene, I can't, He said, "Why?" I said, "You don't understand. You don't understand. I always have to be, by myself, look at the lyrics, and I was like, you made me all like nervous." And he didn't know why, and but I can't explain. It's but it was great, and I will see him in the next couple of weeks. He's giving away the vault where there are many songs on this. It's the whole collection, all the songs he's ever written, and he wrote many songs for this album in 1990. So I will go see him in July, end of July, and we'll probably play an acoustic song. I think maybe "Only You" and stuff. And that was so great. And I thought, I was so happy when he said, come down and stuff. And I thought, it's nice. So it was awesome. It was awesome, and he was super nice, super nice.
Wonderful. Yeah. Did you? I know he was working with Bruce Kulick, who I've spoken to before, and I think is a tremendous guitarist, another fantastic rock guitarist, one of the best ever. But did you have any inkling even back then that Tommy would end up, I wouldn't suggest being in Kiss, but would have the career that he's had working with Gene associated with Kiss? Did they have that sort of relationship even back then?
And say it again. I'm not sure if I understood what you were asking.
Could you have predicted back then that Tommy would have ended up working in Kiss with Gene, do you think?
No, I didn't. Gene was always very, very, he always talked very highly about Tommy. I remember that because when we were in the studio, then he said, let Tommy, play this lick, or, he's great. He was always very, very, he spoke very highly of Tommy. But it was no, you couldn't tell.
predict
No,
it,
you
yeah.
no, you didn't know. Like I couldn't predict it, or he wouldn't say anything. It was
Yeah.
No, and Tommy had, I think, his own thing, and so yeah, and they were great friends, but I didn't predict it. No.
There was another collaborator back then that you worked with that, again, people might not realise, and I thought it was a wonderful collaboration, by the way, very tasteful. But the photographer Philip Dixon, who was better known for working with Playboy, if you like, at the time, he was also a fashion photographer, of course. But what did you like about working with Philip Dixon? Because I love those photographs of you. I think they capture you in a light that I don't think anybody else has been able to capture you in since, to be quite honest.
Yeah, actually, oh man, it was so hard to get him because I was like, actually, I saw him. He was doing many photos in, I think it was Cosmopolitan, and I was always reading through, the girly magazines and Vogue. He was always doing the top-notch fashion thing. I never knew that he did like Playboy as well, but usually they always have a good reputation, the photographers, when somebody's a Playboy photographer. It's always top-notch. So I was always reading through the Cosmopolitan. There was always one photo spread which I fell in love with, and then I checked out who it is, and every single time it was Philip Dixon. And then I went to my manager. I said, Alex was his name. He actually brought me together with Jean as well, and I said, Alex, this photographer, I think it's so amazing. I would love to get a chance to do photos with him. And then Alex contacted him, and he was his agency or management or something at the time, it was so sinfully expensive. It was unaffordable. I mean, because the fashion photographers, they were astronomical. Back in the day, it was like so. So at first it didn't work out, and then we thought, okay, then that's cool, and we tried. At least we tried. And then there was another phone call, and then the agency said, hey guys, by the way, Philip Dixon, he doesn't know your music, but he would be very interested in doing a person from another field, who's not in fashion, who's like doing rock music. And then it came about, and then I made a pretty good price, which was still like so high, but we thought, it's all worth it. And then we did this in on Zuma Beach. That was
is that where it was?
Got all
Okay,
shot.
cool, yeah.
Yeah, and it was great. We didn't talk much. He was all like into working, and I'm usually the same way. Like when you work on a song or on a mix, you don't chat and stuff. It's like all about like the art, and I like that so much. He was super focused and totally into it, and then setting up the lights and waiting for the right sunset and all, and it was awesome. It was great, and it was
Wonderful.
a top-notch production, and I was so happy that I could do it with him, and I never seen him anymore. I don't know if he's still doing it. I don't know.
I don't know either, to be honest with you. I just remember the photo. Like I remember seeing the photos, and they look so. The photos on that album look so different to the other photos that have been used in records with you, and they were very Madonna-esque, which I thought really suited you. To be honest with you, I thought that it really captured you almost as a supermodel, and I to be honest with you, if ever I meet you, I'll certainly have a printout of one of those photos so as I can frame it. I've got 2 young daughters, you see. And I listen to your music along with them because they love a lot of the female artists like yourself and Elisa from Arch Enemy in particular. So, look, if ever I get to meet you, I'd love you to get you to sign a photo or a printout of that era for you so I can put it up in my daughter's room. It'd be lovely.
Oh yes, of course. I would love to. And we try to come to Australia soon. It's been such a long time.
That was going to be my final question.
Yeah, and it was so awesome, and but we didn't find a promoter there yet. And the first time I came there, actually, I met some fans in Wacken who we were talking, and I said, "Man, the show was great. You should come over, bring that show to Australia." And then I said the same what I just told you. We have not a real connection there, and I said, "We do it." So all the fans got together, and they call it actually Metal Warriors Australia, and the main guy, his name is Steve Ravage, and he's a filmmaker as well. And then they made sure that we could go to Australia, and it was so great. And we had the best time there. We definitely want to come back and play all the new songs and the old songs, and and everything from from all these records. And
Yeah. We miss you down here. We miss seeing you. I think you've only been here once in 2003, but you certainly have a fan base down here, and you're so well respected in Australia as you are globally. But yeah, we miss you down here, and we certainly hope that you can come down and tour Forever Warriors, Forever United.
Yes, I would love to. I would love to, and and anytime we will hop on the plane and come, and rock like crazy, and get everybody, like excited, and it's not the same. Like hearing a record is good, but live is always, I think, there's no comparison and stuff.
Agreed. All right. Well, look, it's been a wonderful discussion. I think that's my 25 minutes up. You're a legend. Thank you so much for having a conversation with me. Congratulations again on such a wonderful career. And you, as I said at the beginning, you've been such a wonderful ambassador for heavy metal. Long may your reign continue.
Oh, thank you so much. You were so sweet, and I can't believe how so many nice things you said, and it was great talking to you. Thank you so much. Hope to see you soon. Hope to see you at the concert. We signed the poster. Not to worry when we get over there. And where are you located? In which city?
In Brisbane, in Queensland.
Wow.
Up
Super.
north, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't played there. No, so super. Okay, good that I know. I have to keep that in the back of my mind.
Definitely keep it in mind. I'd love to see you here.
Yeah.
We all would, yeah.
No
worries.
Yeah, and thank you so much. And have a great day. And I hope till very soon. And enjoy. And please say hi to all the fans and tell them that I love them more than anything in this world. Always have and always will.
I will do. No worries. You're a very graceful queen. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Andrew. You were super, super nice. Thank you.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you for talking to me as well. And have a good day, okay?
No worries, you too. Okay, God bless. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
God bless you too. Okay, ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Andrew, bye-bye. Cheers.
You are listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith, and that was my conversation with Doro Pesh. Thank you so much for listening.